To the Natchez Parish School Board meeting. It is October 7, 2021, 5 p.m. If you have any electronic devices, telephones, or anything like that, would you silence them or put them on airplane mode? If you are speaking to any of our agenda items, there is a paper in the back that you need to fill out and pass it toward the front. Our invocation will be by Ms. Palmer, and our Pledge of Allegiance will be by Ms. Gidros.
Let's bow our heads. Dear Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for allowing us to come together at this hour, Lord, to do your business, to do the business of Natchez Parish School System. Lord, give us the guidance and understanding to make the right decisions, the best decisions for our parish. Lord, I ask that you look over my fellow board members and their families and bless them, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Rebels will have roll call and establish the quorum.
Mr. Danzy?
Here.
Mr. McGuire? Mr. Benefield?
Here.
Mr. Garner?
Here.
Mr. Harris?
Present.
Mrs. Gidro? Here. Mrs. Broadway?
Here.
Mrs. McGaskey? Ms. Palmer?
Here.
Ms. Phelps?
Here.
And Ms. Bell? We have a quorum.
All right, thank you so very much. I would like for you all, as we go forward, for me to recognize you so that we'll know who's speaking and things like that, as opposed to sometimes what we do is just blurt out. Let me recognize you so people will know who it is that's talking, and we can keep in continuity of good decorum. All right, with that being said, I'll hand it over to Dr. Eloy.
So I only have one item to add, and that is we have our preliminary October 1 count, and we believe it's going to be where it is now, but I want to give you good news that we are up 110 students from last year. If you want to do some rough math, it's around $6,000 per student, give or take a little bit, and so we're looking at anywhere from $500,000 to $600,000 more into the general fund on MFP, and that's very exciting because COVID last year we know we were down, but we're back up. So 110, yes, and that's all I have as an update.
All right, thank you so very much. We know that item B is superintendent's report. Dr. Pope and them came down. He had a wonderful meeting. We talked about a lot of things and we appreciated her. Some of the things we talked about just recently came up, so we'll go over that, maybe next month sometime.
Yes, sir.
All right, with that being said, old business.
Okay. Well, that is me with the resolution about the delaying the election for 1 month by governor's order. So, do I need to read this back into again? Is that before we vote on it?
I think we've read it over it, unless it's needing to be read into the report. If not.
We do have a lawyer here.
Joe, do we need to reread it again at each board meeting before the vote, or?
As long as you offer the actual document in its evidence as part of the minutes, you'll be fine.
It is offered as a document in the minutes.
You'll be good. Please just reference that as an exhibit, and you're in business.
So can we get a motion to approve the resolution confirming the election date change pursuant to the executive order of the governor establishing a new date to canvass and to return of the elections and providing for other matters in connections therewith?
I'll offer.
It's
Second.
okay, been offered by Ms. Beverly Broadway, sorry, and seconded by Mr. Tankia Palmer. It wasn't Tankia?
No, it was.
It wasn't just that.
I'm sorry. I know you all female. Is there any questions, any comments? All right, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Dancy,
Yes.
Mr. Penfield,
Yes.
Mr. Garner,
Yes.
Mr. Harris,
Yes.
Mrs. Boudreaux,
Yes.
Mrs. Broadway,
Yes.
Ms. Palmer,
Yes.
and Ms. Phelps.
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right. No new business. As we come to the consent agenda, all of you read over it. Is there any questions, any comments on the consent agenda?
I'll offer it, Mr. Harris.
And offered by Mr. Garner,
A second.
seconded by Ms. Phelps. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. All right. We've gone over and we've looked over our information reports.
Actually, we have some addition there. I added the sales tax report,
Okay,
and that's
Did you want-
item number E.
speak on that.
Yes, sure.
Okay.
So if everybody open it up, go pretty much to the last page. Of course, mine won't come up. I'm so sorry, gang, it's just not coming up.
It's very slow, mine's coming up this
I
way.
just came up to you.
Yeah, mine's just coming.
If you'll scroll down to the very last page, that's really the information that you need. It's sales tax distributions for the month. I think it was August. Yes, okay, here we go. I've got mine, find it.
Are we up to the part?
Very last page, the August collections for 2022 is actually, this is the fiscal year for 2022, was $3,744,000, up $580,000. That's an 18% increase, and that's what was distributed to us.
Awesome.
Okay. One thing to note, if the supply chain continues, sales taxes, just due to lack of product, may actually start to decline. We'll see. But right now, I think we only estimated 10% growth, and we're doing good right now at this point in time. And that's it.
All right.
Also, on your report for child nutrition, one thing that was updated was we are feeding an additional 342 students from this time last year. And we are serving an average of 1,700 students each day for breakfast, which is up 257 students for breakfast. That's pretty good. This increase equates to a $2,108 worth of additional claims in what we can bill the USDA
Per day?
per day.
All right,
And
that's great.
our claim for September, which is not a part of the budget report I gave y'all, but she just sent a bill out, Mrs. Shauna, $402,133. Okay,
All right.
that concludes those reports.
Mr. Nancy?
Item 7A, permission to advertise for bids.
And I would like to amend this to add one more item. This is for the timber. We are time to harvest the timber. We've got good prices. Prices are up. We need to do a timber thinning. I think it's described in there. It gives the actual track number, but it's timber at Waterwell Road and the Gorham track. This is the second thinning. The next round of this will be clear cut. But we do 2 thinnings and then a clear cut. And this is a cycle over a certain number of years. The Joe Cooper notified us that the prices are up and this is looking good. I would like to also amend that we have had a request, and I'd like to take to bid to offer a lease, an oil and gas lease on our mineral rights for the, does anybody know where the old Three Pines School is? We sold the property, but the mineral rights underneath we still retain. And that's what we would be bidding out. And,
Yeah,
Three Pines.
I do not know.
Well, okay. Well, if I figure it out, I'll send it along to you.
So,
Because they give the track number and everything, but have no idea where that is. You know, the actual property description doesn't tell me.
Yeah, satellite.
Yeah, it says, yeah, northwest corner of this track and 60, yeah.
so,
Okay.
so do we wanna take both of those together, or?
You know, I'd like to amend to add, taking this out to bid, to add the oil and gas.
Right.
The timber is already a part of the agenda. I'd like to add that.
I move that we add.
I'll second it.
So we need to, hold on to add that,
On the amendment.
on the amendment, yes.
Yes, yeah, no.
Any, it's been, motioned by Mr. Danzy and seconded by Mr. Garner. Any other questions? All right, all those in favor of adding?
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. All right. So,
Now we have to vote on,
vote on the
yeah.
total thing.
So, and I also move that we approve the added item and also the one that we had before the timber.
And I will second that motion also.
It has been, motioned by Mr. Danzy and seconded by Mr. Garner. Any questions, any comments?
I have a question if I may, please, for the record.
Okay.
There are two items being, advertised for bids, just two, or is it three?
I'm requesting the board give me permission to advertise these two separate
So
items.
you're only two items, the timberlands for harvest and then the tent.
Yes.
And there was two timberlands, two sites, timberlands, I think
That's
that's
correct.
what she's asking, and then also the oil and gas.
Yeah, but both those two sites will go out for,
Right.
with one bid.
Right.
Okay, so once again,
See me tomorrow. so I
okay.
can-
All right. So we good?
We good?
All right.
No, we haven't voted
Got a
yet.
motion on the floor in a second.
Okay, well, let's, hold on, let's do a roll call vote on the record.
Mr. Danzy?
Yes.
Mr. Benefiel?
Yes.
Mr. Garner?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mrs. Pedro?
Yes.
Mrs. Broadway?
Yes.
Ms. Palmer?
Yes.
And Ms. Phelps?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Item 7B is the Marthaville school bus. And you have a picture on it, we all looked at it, it's been sitting in one spot
Yeah.
for a while.
This is a non-functional piece of equipment. It has been sitting there for years. We have had several people make low offers. We have to declare it as basically a scrap or what was my word?
Surplus.
Yeah, surplus, and then we will basically do a bid and have several people pay through, and we'll just give it to the highest
All
bidder.
right, this,
I move that we consider it, at this time, being surplus equipment, with very low value.
And I'll second.
all right, it's been motioned by Mr. Danzy, seconded by Ms. Broadway. Broadway. Any questions, any comments? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
All those opposed, nay? Ayes have it. All right.
Item 7C, discuss new relationship with managing insurance claims with Hurricane Laura and other catastrophic events. Mr. Watson.
Joe Staney, who made the presentation on Tuesday, is here. He is here to just have any additional questions that y'all might have. Joe, did you want to say anything?
Just briefly, if a lawyer can be briefly. Thank you. Just the encouraging news that the Goldana School building has been evaluated as of yesterday, and our concerns have proven to be true. The damage to the roof caused by wind damage and further damage by the ice storm is significant. And how the insurance adjuster missed this so dramatically bad, with all due respect, seems to be self-serving desires by that party. Because it's going to be that one roof damage alone will be a heck of a lot more than their total claim that they claim that we have of just 98,000. They'll far exceed that. It's a shame that we're having to deal with it, but that's a fact.
Yeah,
Well, I was out at Lakeview today, and so I'm glad they were out there trying to get all of that situated.
We're gonna get to the bottom of this, and then someone's gonna have to answer some questions
They need to.
as to how they couldn't determine the obvious nature, from our perspective, of the significance of this damage.
Because I don't want to pay you.
Some of the damage
Amen.
I've seen out there on, like, we had some 10-ton units that the wind actually lifted them off the curve and shifted them around. So if you were inside and looking out, you could see the sun and stuff. That's how bad it was out there.
It's bizarre.
So I know the rest of them were messed up.
The distinction between what we're finding and what they claim to exist is if you're reading two different books. And that's how startling it is.
Well, I'll make the motion to approve the investigation of the Hurricane Laura and any other catastrophic events like the ice storm, which caused excess damage that the insurance company has not completed.
Well, I don't think there's a,
Discussion.
yeah, it's not an action taken on this.
Oh, okay.
Well, we appreciate the resolution of the board, I can promise you that. And look, I think this is gonna be one of those, we're gonna come back later and say,
We will have
how
one in
did
the
we
future.
have to do this, but we had to.
Okay.
Yeah, he was excited about that.
Thank you all very much. I have to go take care of an indirect matter of importance to this board. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 7D, deed correction regarding Old Fairview Alpha location.
Yes, the old Fairview Alpha, they're trying to sell the property who we sold it 2 years ago. They're trying to sell the property, realize they had a deed problem. I'm asking the board to authorize Dr. Eloy to sign, it's attached what they want to sign. It's just a simple deed correction. I think there's track A and B, and they didn't include B in the final piece. And it was the intention of this board at the time, back in what, 2005, I guess it was, to actually sell the property in as-is condition. And they just didn't include track B, I think it is.
Yeah, both tracks were meant to be.
Were meant to be sold, and they did transfer pieces of the ownership. The property tax bill has been going to them, but he didn't actually own the property.
So just correct it.
This just simply corrects
It's a
this.
technical correction, right?
So this is a correction to a deed from a matter from 15 years ago in an attempt to, just so he can sell it. It's just-
I'll offer that, Mr.
A
Harris.
second.
All right, it's been offered by Mr. Gordon and second by Ms. Phil. Any other questions or comments? All right. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
All those opposed, nay? Ayes have it. Okay.
Item 7E, approved bid for the turf at Lakeview.
Okay, I have presented a letter I presented to Dr. Eloy about my recommendation. We had a sole bidder called Geo Services Inc. They are obviously the winning bid. We cannot afford the $893,000, $800 upfront, but we would like to approve this bid with the alteration of the change to accept their lease, which I have provided a copy of, with a company called Sustainability Partners. And this will cost us 10 years, $10,091 a month. So that's basically $120,000, $121,000.
Yes.
So this was, now for that, they are going to maintain it, refresh it, keep it up during the whole time.
Can we get a motion on it
I will
first
offer the
and
motion
then
for that.
let's discuss it?
I second.
Okay, it's been offered by Mr. Gordon, seconded by Ms. Palmer. Any questions, any comments?
Yes, I have a couple of comments, but we'll let him finish.
Well, so I just wanted to present this, Coach Helms is here to actually show you the image of what we're approving. But I do believe with the increase in BRE funds in Consolidated 7 that we can't afford this. So anyhow, I'm just gonna hand it over to Coach Helms right now.
Okay. It's kind of distorted a little bit as far as the colors when it's took this image that was created off of an email, and but that's basically everything inside the track will be turfed. All this area back here will be turfed. We'll have the Lakeview logo with Lakeview on one end, some Gators on the other.
Let's remember, that's a brand new track field.
That is a brand new track.
We had never had an event
We have
on
not
it.
had a track meet on it yet. So, but that's the layout of the design from Geosurfaces. As far as with the sustainability partners, I can explain a little bit with that lease program also. What they have is, say your lease extends for 10 years. At the end of that 10 year, they come in and they replace the turf. They put new turf down. If you continue a lease for 20 years, which will probably none of us will be here for that part of it, but they will come in and they will redo the subsurface before placing that turf once again. So it's a every 3-month management program. Geosurfaces will do that. Basically, the lease is we're management free on it. That includes all equipment that goes with the fluffing of the turf, cleaning of the turf. They also come in and do a yearly stress test on it. If there's a problem with that, then they replace that at no cost to the board.
This benefits us, but the original bid was just to buy the turf. Was not included because it would be just under $900,000 to buy the turf, but we would still have to pay 10 years worth of maintenance to keep it up. So I think actually this is the best deal. We have it. This is the maintenance contract is a part of this as well. This isn't just the purchase or lease of this turf. This is the maintenance and keeping it up, which is not included in the offer of $893,000.
Is this a reputable company?
How long have they been in business?
Yeah.
Very reputable. Louisiana College, that field, all of their facilities
Nice one.
are Geosurfaces. They've done in Baton Rouge, Parkview Baptist, pretty much all the fields in South Louisiana that you're going to find is Geosurfaces.
So they do a lot of.
They do a ton.
Reverend Harris, a couple of comments.
State meetings and
Yeah.
stuff.
They have, you're right. You're right.
A couple comments. I like the lease thing. What we talked about earlier is, as long as we owe these people money on a yearly basis, then we know that if we have a problem, they're gonna come out there and maintain it and fix it. We also think that it will be a plus for our school at Lakeview. It will improve it. Hopefully we can improve our football, sports part, all the way around. And I think it's a real good investment for the people at Lakeview and in District 7. However, I know this is such short timing. We are planning on the homecoming game coming up shortly. We would like for the board to be there. We want to do a little groundbreaking ceremony on that project. And we'd like to have you all out there and attend that. And you're going to make sure all that's handled and together.
I will. I want to say this also. This is not just a football usage, okay? This turf, you just think about the number of times that baseball and softball get rained out of the practice, that their field's too wet to practice on. This turf is, with the system that's in place with this, it is dry within 30 minutes. Inch and a half will be dried in 30 minutes to be able to use. So, multiple things can use this turf. And it's just, I think it's a game changer for Lakeview, for itself, because of the image that it puts out there, and it shows that there's a commitment to the student body and the kids out there. This is not just something that football is going to use. Various things.
And
Miss,
yeah,
Oh,
in
yes.
addition to, if we were purchasing it, we know that sometime in the future we'd have to purchase again. How long does this artificial turf typically last?
8 to 10
So
is what they say.
we would look at having to spend.
If we had to go back in and replace that turf,
Right.
after all the subsurface work, you're looking at about $400,000 every 10 years that you're having to spend to replace, just because of material cost itself.
So overall, just longevity wise, it just seems like this
It's
is
just,
financially the better move.
Financially, I think it's the better move for it.
Well, we can't afford it otherwise.
We looked at three different options, I think, and this one,
When is homecoming?
it seems to be the better.
Next week?
Because we're
But
gonna
you're buying the extended
we're gonna
warranty
have
up
a
front.
vote.
Yes, right.
Yes, that's
You're
right.
not-
You're buying an extended warranty.
When purchasing it.
And all maintenance in between, if anything happens in between.
Okay.
For 10 years, anytime he calls to fix something, they do it.
What about, repainting the whole bit, that's part of the deal?
As far as what?
Repainting,
Yeah, I mean, as far as painting, they're not gonna have to do anything. They're gonna order this as-is place to go in, and it's gonna be paid, anything that they have to do as far as, I talked to him about the new track.
yeah, your infield though, I mean, your end zones are probably gonna have to be touched up.
No.
They actually, that's
That's turf.
planted in, yeah, it's turf that's planted in, I was watching a video about it the other day, they cut it into it and it's there. So if
Yes.
it's not paint, they're gonna have to, if something gets faded, they'd have to totally replace that piece.
That's right.
It's also sand based, not the black pellets. It's a
Oh,
sand
really?
based.
That's much.
Oh, yeah, it's
It's about 12 to 15 degrees cooler.
Yeah. And a lot softer too.
and from the time this originated, we've been able to keep them at the same price, considering that material and things are continuing to go up. And I think if we go ahead and approve this tonight, I think we'll start on it around January, somewhere.
Yeah, he said he would like to, if we approve tonight, he said he could get materials ordered in November, shipped, delivered, started in January, hopes to turn it over by mid-March, March 1st to mid-March.
And
Completed.
July would be the first payment.
Yeah, late June, 1st of July.
That's a good thing. That's great.
So,
I was gonna tell Mr. Benefield, I Googled him while we're here. It's a good thing about his iPads. So they've been in business since '04, and it doesn't look like artificial turf is much older than 2004. The technology they're using, so it's
I don't know, it's been around since the seventies.
the technology they're using.
Yeah, okay, but, yeah, I mean, this is, I'm looking at your $10 million bond out there, so I mean, hey, they're very serious about this stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And then, just a lot of great things, I think. And you all have been so supportive.
So supportive on all
We
of that.
thank you. All right, let's get a roll call vote on this.
Mr. Danby?
Yes.
Mr. Benefield?
Yes.
Mr. Garner?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mrs. Gaudreau?
Yes.
Mrs. Barbara?
Yes.
Mrs. Palmer?
Yes.
And Ms. Phelps?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Hallelujah.
And we will be informing you all on
Thank you.
homecoming night and try to make it there if you all can. I know it's
It's next week.
next week.
Next week.
next Friday
Short
night.
notice, but it's next week.
Next Friday night?
Next Friday night.
Lee,
So we tailgate.
What's that?
you mind if I take this next one?
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna be tailgating. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so the modular buildings, I'm sorry.
Let's
you
go ahead
were
and get a
waiting.
motion.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and get a motion right quick on this motion to approve base bid.
Oh, yes, item 7F is approved bid 2 modular buildings for Nitro Central High School.
A second.
All right.
Okay.
Motion by Mr. Danzy, second by Ms. Phelps. Ms. Phelps. Any questions, any comments? Go ahead.
Okay, so real quick, if you know the area at Niagara Central, near the band ROTC field, there is an area there that we can place 2 modular buildings to increase class sizes there by a factor of 4 classrooms, each one 25 students apiece. And I know a lot of people, when you hear modular buildings, but the company we're looking at possibly doing business with it if we go through this whole process. There are modular buildings at this point that show no difference between what they look like and what any building looks like. I was showing Reverend Harris the other day. It's amazing what they can do and make these part of the school atmosphere, and they aren't the trailers we thought of when you talk about portable buildings and things of that nature. This is one of the few times by utilizing ESSER money that we can increase the capacity of a school that has grown every year for however many years. You know, we have the bond issue, which is going to help us, but this is the only time in the next 17 years that we think we can add to size of Central without doing something like a bond issue, which again, we're not going to do for another 17 years. So we're real excited about this. This will give Mr. Coleman another 4 classes.
What's there, you know, make sure they're gonna cover that while it's in construction.
Well, no, it just comes in
Well, yeah, but the installation.
in the process of installation, okay.
Like pinching it out and everything.
How soon will all this happen? How long?
It'll be installed sometime in December.
And
It'll be ready for January. What's that?
It'll be up and running by January?
Yeah, yes, it should be. We don't have to install plumbing, it's just mainly electrical supply, we have to supply it. They will be, we have to install ramps and handicap and all those provisions, but we don't have to install plumbing, which just adds a whole new complication to everything. You have to have handicap, bathrooms, all that. They will actually be so close to the building that they'll be positioned next to, they're able to use the building. That's right, that they will be placed beside for their restroom needs.
They have to be in a certain distance.
There's a certain
Covered
distance.
walkway or how?
Yeah, there'll be, I might just have to end up pouring a little slab, a walkway, once the ramp comes down or the stairs in, I'll have to end up probably pouring a little bit of, there's a lot of walkway already there, I'll just have to add to it.
Any other questions,
It won't cost much money.
comments?
Well, I know with insurance one time before, with that gym being and the connecting walkway, there was an issue with insurance not paying.
Yeah, it had to be connected to be covered, I remember that.
Yeah, there was some kind of.
A few years
issue that
ago,
they
wasn't
weren't
it?
gonna pay
Yes.
for it.
What has to be
The
connected?
gym floor.
You have to have a, actual physical connection to the, because they left some just open, just not actually adhered to the building, so it wasn't covered. That was an insurance thing that was,
I'll-
3 or 4 years ago,
And I
something like
think
that.
that I understand some, because it was not connected physically to.
And I think it
And
was,
it could be because they never added the buildings in the first place too,
yeah,
you know,
I
as long
think
as you
that's what-
keep your agent up to date.
Yes. All right, well,
Shouldn't be a problem.
all right, sounds like I have homework then, I'll get to it on that.
all right. Let's have a vote. Roll call.
Mr. Danzy?
Yes.
Mr. Benfield?
Yes.
Mr. Garner?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mrs. Boudreaux?
Yes.
Mrs. Broadway?
Yes.
Ms. Palmer?
Yes.
Ms. Phelps?
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right.
And I think that we've done that, so I believe. Yes.
All right. Personnel. By the way, we have a model. Y'all go see her picture. She's working.
Okay, all right. So, do we have any questions about anything? I just sent you an email, asking for your input, if you have any ideas about, what we're planning to do next week. If you have anything that's amazing that you think we can do, because we don't want our ad to look like Cato's ad. We don't want it to look like Red River's ad. I'm just saying.
When are they gonna do that, Miss?
We're recording the 14th,
14th.
and they're going to advertise. It is going to play between 7 and 5:30 and 7, I think, 11 o'clock, and at 4 p.m. on October 24th and on October 31st. They're going to do 3.5 hours of footage for 3 minutes. So it needs to be exceptional. Question? Would you like to be included? Would you like to be included?
I'll be in it.
Okay. Anybody else?
Whatever you need.
Seriously, I mean, it's
Yes.
going to be real short, but the imagery could be just spectacular.
We could be stars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Phelps.
Okay, executive report, item 9A, malapportionment resolution, and it is attached. Did we read it already?
No.
We have not.
It was an honor too.
Okay, so the resolution is attached, and I will read that for you unless you insist, Dr. Eloy.
Yeah, please do.
Okay. Resolution of the Natchitoches Parish School Board recognizing that its current districting plan is malapportioned and is required to adopt a new districting plan in accordance with law and to otherwise provide thereto. Wherefore, pursuant to the United States Constitution and federal law, there is conducted a decennial census of the population of the United States every 10 years. Wherefore, the most recent federal decennial census was conducted in 2020, and the results thereof were released in September of 2021. Wherefore, Louisiana law mandates that the Natchitoches Parish School Board consider the impact of the federal decennial census on the election districts of its members to determine whether the relative populations of those election districts are in accordance with the principles of one person, one vote set forth in the United States Constitution. Wherefore, Strategic Demographics LLC has reviewed the current districting plan using the 2020 federal decennial census and notified the school board that the existing districting plan is malapportioned. Now therefore be it resolved that the Natchitoches Parish School Board recognizes that its current districting plan is malapportioned and authorizes and directs Strategic Demographics LLC to further proceed with crafting a redistricting plan.
Motion.
I'll offer.
Okay, it's been offered by Ms. Phelps.
Second.
All right. Second by, Ms. Broadway. Any further questions or comments,
Yeah, so I want everyone in the room and on the feed to realize that this is just something that we have to do every 10 years because you want equal representation in the districts and everyone's vote to be as close to the same as possible. And when you have 10 years of a census and people leave, they obviously don't leave consistently from each district and in a orderly fashion. So every 10 years when the census comes out, we have to get a demographer to look at our data to say, hey, you're malapportioned. This is something every district is doing right now. This is not something we're trying to change anything. We're just trying to make sure that we follow state and federal law.
and I think most of us have met Danny Garrett. He's an attorney down with LSBA. Good guy, and that's who we will be working with to iron out hours. Any other questions or comments? Can we get a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Danzy?
Yes.
Mr. Benfield?
Yes.
Mr. Garner?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mrs. Keydraw?
Yes.
Mrs. Broadway?
Yes.
Ms. Palmer?
Yes.
And Ms. Phelps?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, item 9B is moving the December board meeting dates from the 7th and the 9th to the 14th and 16th. And this was something that we thought would be a good idea to handle any end of the year business that should be handled and give us more time to make good decisions. And I think we pretty much agreed on it at retreat, but does anybody have any questions or?
Motion.
I'll move that we approve the moving of the December committee and board meeting dates.
A motion by Ms. Phelps,
Second.
second by Ms. Palmer. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Okay. Motion to adjourn.
Mr. McGuire's not here.
That's up to you now.
Make a motion, we retire.
All right.
We're time. Yes.
And I apologize again, but I have another soccer game to
Are you
jump on.
fixing the
Coaching?
agenda?
I'm
You were
coaching.
way overdressed.
I'm coaching and also
Like
cheering.
Superman, his stuff is up under.